Hello, once again it's Kenny Jacobs from Bloomington, Illinois. I'm a PGA golf professional, and my channel talks both about how to improve your golf game as well as being a Christian and living in these last days. I get asked all the time by parents, should I sign my child up for this golf camp or that golf camp? What do you think of golf camps? Should he go? Should he not go? And I have an interesting concept on golf camps. I mean, I wouldn't discourage you from going, but I also don't encourage you to go. I do recommend maybe some short game camps or some camps designed to learn how to play competitive golf possibly. But even then, I'm just not a big fan of golf camps. I'd much rather see somebody take part in private instruction. If you have a child who is already involved in instruction and he's seeing good results and he's happy with that instructor, then I would encourage him to stay with that instructor and just do that. The problem is when you go to golf camps, you get exposed to other teachers, and other teachers may have other ideas. And then you get conflicting advice. And there's an old saying, too many cooks spoil the stew. And that's kind of true when it comes to golf instruction as well. If an instructor is getting good results with you, then you want to stick with that and not confuse the situation. Golfers are sometimes the most overtaught, overthinking athletes, I think, in the world. And the more people get involved in competitive golf at the junior level, the more they get exposed to golf teams, and then their golf team has to go to this golf camp, or the golf coach tells them, I want you to go to this camp or that camp. And next thing you know, you've got so many ideas going through your head, and then you're confused. So I wouldn't say no, definitely don't go to golf camps, but I just don't highly recommend them. I would say more private instruction, and also instead of spending money on golf camps, a lot of times I would say just instead take some of that money and apply it toward golf tournaments. Allow your child to play more golf tournaments. That's the best way to learn to score in playing golf tournaments. The more you play in them, the more comfortable you get, and the better your results are. So golf camps, okay, so I'm not big on them, wouldn't totally discount them, but I'm not real big on them. However, there is one type of camp you want nothing to do with. And a lot of people have heard of these, and a lot of people haven't. And then there's a third person who has heard of it, but they just don't believe it. And what I'm talking about are FEMA camps. FEMA camps came about because of the September 11th attack, when the terrorists attacked and knocked down the World Trade Centers and attacked the Pentagon. There was a cry out that we needed to crack down on terrorism. So the federal government decided to start something called the Department of Homeland Security. Well, shortly after that, FEMA became part of the Department of Homeland Security. Since then, FEMA and the Department of Homeland Security have been buying up billions and billions of rounds of ammunition and military-style vehicles and tanks because they're preparing for martial law. As I keep telling you in all my videos, there is definitely a one-world government and a new world order that is coming. And America is probably the main reason why that hasn't started yet, because there's a lot of people in America who are Christians or people that believe in our Constitution and our Bill of Rights and our Second Amendment rights to bear arms, and they would fight that. And the government knows that. That's why you hear a lot about gun control now, and you hear a lot about gun confiscation, and that's probably going to happen. But there's a lot of resistance to that, and there's a lot of hunters in the United States. And a lot of people who want to keep their guns, and they believe in their constitutional right to own a gun. So there's a second thing that the government is doing now, and that is they've been buying up all this ammunition, and they've also been closing down all the factories that make ammunition. So if they can't get our guns out of our hands, what they can do is they can make it so there's no bullets available for those guns, and only the government and FEMA will have weapons and have ammunition for those weapons. Now, again, that's a very controversial thing to talk about, and when I tell people this, usually, one, they don't know about it, or two, they say to me, You're crazy. There's no way that could happen here in America. There's absolutely no way that can happen. Well, I bet you the Jews thought that there's no way that Hitler could do what he did to them, first of all. And secondly, really there's a couple of type of people out there right now. The people that say that could never happen here in America, or just refuse to believe it. And then there's others who just don't want to know. They don't want to be informed about this stuff, but it's not going to go away just because you don't know about it. In fact, the more you don't know about it, the more in danger you are. You need to be prepared. Martial law is coming, and FEMA camps do exist. You know, Glenn Beck wanted to do a show and debunk FEMA camps. He wanted to prove that they did not exist. He's like most of us Americans. We would like to think that they don't exist, and there's no way that our country would ever do that. Unfortunately, as he started to dig into it and research it, he finally admitted that he can't debunk them. He cannot say they don't exist. In fact, he now believes that they do exist. And they do. There's about 800 of them around the United States, 800 FEMA camps. Most of them were at closed down prisons or old factories or whatever that have been turned into FEMA camps. And they're all located right by train tracks so that people can be taken there and unloaded. And I know that's hard to believe. I know I never thought I would see the day where that would happen here in the United States. But I can assure you that FEMA camps are a fact. And I want to encourage you to look into that for yourself. Don't believe me, or don't choose not to believe me. Just research it yourself. This is too big of an idea. This is too important to just not look into. So I would suggest you Google FEMA camp. Go to YouTube and search FEMA camps. You could spend all day watching videos and reading articles about FEMA camps. They are a definite fact. So golf camps, they're okay. Usually I say avoid them. FEMA camps, absolutely you want to avoid it. Period. Look into it. Remember, Jesus is coming back soon. You want to be ready. Thank you.